Hello guys, what's up? This is Murtaza. Welcome back to Coder's Journey. This is the next episode of our jQuery tutorial. I hope you've already watched the previous videos. If you haven't, please make sure you watch them because what we talk about in each episode is kind of based upon the ideas that we have covered in the previous videos. In the last video, I talked about callbacks, right? Another very interesting advantage of using jQuery is that you can chain methods or you can chain functions, right? So basically you can, select an element, right? And then do multiple things on this single element at the same time. Not at the same time, but let's say with just once fetching this element in the DOM. So basically you find this element once and then you chain the functions of jQuery on one another, and those will be executed, on the same element. I think the best way to better understand, what I mean is to go over a very simple example. Now, I have opened, a simple HTML file, episode 12. I have it open in my browser as well. And here I've got an H1 element with a button, right? And in my script tag, first off, I'm going to say that I am going to select this button, right? And then I'm going to handle the click event. So we all know that in order to select an element, we're going to do this with ID, right? And then I'm going to say that I want to, let's say, handle the click event, right? And then there's going to be a function, right? And in this function, right, for the click event of my button, what I want to do is to first get this H1. So this H1 has the ID of H1. So basically, because I'm very lazy, I can take this and then change it to H1. And then I can do multiple things on this H1 with just once getting it out of the DOM, right? So suppose here you see that I have a CSS class called heading, which I want to apply to this, H1. So with jQuery, in order to add a CSS class, you can do this and then say that the name of the class that I want to, for example, apply is heading, right? So let's save and then go to the browser, refresh, and I'm going to click. And as you can see, so the CSS class is applied, right? But suppose that I want to do other things as well. So for the next function, I do not need to get this one more time and, for example, say a slide, right? No, we don't need to do that. Basically, we can chain the next jQuery function, right, at the end of this add class. For example, we know fade out, right? We have already talked about fade out. Let's say that we're going to fade out, then we're going to fade in, right? And then save, go to the browser, refresh, click. And let me, for example, say, I don't know, like 5,000. Come here, refresh. You see? Yeah. So these functions are chained to one another. This is called, function chaining. Of course, if I add, other functions as well, right? So this line of code will get long and it will become a little bit, I don't know, like unmaintainable and less readable, right? But what I can do with jQuery is that I can break my lines very easily, and jQuery doesn't care whether you have written the line of code like this or in the previous slide, right? So for example, suppose that I want to add another one like text. I want to say this is the updated text of the heading, right? And then after that, let's say I'm going to say remove class. I'm going to remove the heading class. So basically, first we're gonna add the heading class. We're gonna fade out, let's say for 2000 milliseconds. Then we're gonna fade in. Then we're gonna change the text of the heading, and finally we're gonna remove the CSS class. I'm gonna save the file, go to the browser, refresh, and then let's click and see what happens. And as you saw, first the remove class and the text, got executed, and the fade out and fade in, they executed for 1 second, 2 seconds, and 1 second. So the duration of fade in and fade out were a little bit longer than text and remove class. And basically what I can do to, for example, get rid of this problem, right? I told you that you can add a function, right? So we're gonna say after the fade out is complete, then execute this fading function, right? This fading function. So I'm gonna select this, right? And do this, and I'm gonna save, go to the browser, refresh, and then this is the output that I get. So this is a simple combination of callbacks, right? And method chaining or function chaining. In C# it is sometimes called method chaining. That's the reason why I always mix it up, but function chaining. And that's it, right? This is one of the important concepts in jQuery. I hope you've enjoyed watching this video, guys. If that's the case, give it a like, subscribe to the channel, and also stay tuned for the next video.